Welcome to the Building Blocks of Business, a podcast show where we dive in and explore various aspects of the business world. This show is brought to you by ECEL NITK in association with NITK Toastmasters Club. I'm your host, Suprita Harishankar, third year BTech student in the ECE department. Today, you are listening to the third episode of Season 1, the ABCs of Applying to a B School. In today's conversation, I get to sit with our guest, Sai Teja. Graduating in Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sai Teja is an NITK alumnus from the batch of 2017. He previously worked at Wells Fargo, Bangalore as a credit portfolio consultant for 2 years, managing the credit risk for private label credit cards portfolio using data analytics. His hobbies include traveling, photography, and playing the cajon. Sai Teja is currently doing his Masters in Finance at NUS Business School in Singapore and is expecting to graduate in November this year. Great to have you here with us, Sai Teja. From the National Institute of Technology Karnataka to the National University of Singapore, how has the transition been for you?
Hi, Suprita, and I hope everyone who will be listening or who is listening to this podcast is safe in this pandemic situation. Uh, yeah, like that, and the national thing sounded really well. I did not think of it before. So, yeah, coming on to how I transitioned from NITK to NUS. When I was in my third year of engineering, I realized I was not interested in electronics anymore. So and then like if the people in electronics would know Deepu Vijay Senan, one of the professors at NITK, and he offered us a pattern recognition machine learning course, and like I took it up and I found my interest in analytics, and after that I did an internship in analytics in one of the startups in Bangalore, and later it helped me get a job at Wells Fargo, Bangalore, during the campus placement itself. So during my time at Wells Fargo, I was mostly involved on the business side of the analytics and less on the technology side of the analytics. Like I need to have a domain knowledge to work in the role. So uh, I started developing the domain knowledge in finance, and as as I progress, as I'm as I'm after I'm done with like 2 years, I'm left with so many questions on how the finance industry work. So I just thought go pursuing a career like studying more about finance will help me clear my mind with all this clear my mind. And so I gave my GMAT and applied for this program and got through it. And now I'm in Singapore studying, doing this master's in finance course.
That was very nice to hear, especially how your curiosity and the transition from the tech to the business side of things and how that made you decide to go to NUS for your master's in finance degree. Sai Teja, an MBA in finance, as I have heard, is one of the highest paying MBA specializations, due to which it is also very popular. But yet, it is known to be a generalized degree. What were the factors that you took into account while choosing the relatively less popular MS in finance? Was there anyone or anything in your time at NITK that helped you make that decision?
I mean, my decision had nothing in particular to do with NITK, uh, but it is more about what I wanted to learn. So in MBA, it is more like a generalized degree, as you said, and what we would be looking is like a we would not like it would not teach us much deep into finance, but what I wanted to learn was finance. So when I was applying for the universities as well, like my choices were all masters in finance, and since I wanted to and I have applied in a couple of universities in US. I applied for University of Texas Austin, and I applied for University of Rochester, and I applied for NUS. And of all these three institutes, like NUS has a better finance, say in terms of finance team, say in terms of like the finance department. So I chose an NUS over the other university.
It was nice knowing that how you took the decision and the steps that you had to go through for that.
Yeah.
NUS Business School is consistently rated as one of the top business schools in the Asian Pacific region, like you said, and one of the leading business schools worldwide. How has the experience been for you? Can you tell me more about your time at NUS?
Yeah, sure. So NUS is actually more famous for its BBA and MBA. So, like if you see a lot of Southeast Asian startup people, the CXO level people in the Southeast Asian companies or the Southeast Asian startups, uh, like a lot of people have done their BBA or MBA from NUS, and and like these two are known around the world. And whereas coming to the master's program in finance, it was recently started. I am in the second cohort of this master's in finance. But my strong gut feel back then when I was making this decision was the same people who made the NUS MBA program flagship. Would be the people who would be teaching, would be the people who will be teaching me the finance as well. So it was not uh, like it was not a difficult decision to make for me when I chose this masters in finance. So coming to the experience at NUS, I mean the program in particular to this program, the program is very new and it needs a lot of refinements, and they are doing it. They will be doing it over time after they get like, and they will be also like asking the feedback, taking the feedback from the current and the previous batches and all. So at that level, like the the program is improving, and they will do everything what they can to make it a flagship program because it is like because they had done it in the past. And coming to the most important thing, which is the alumni network. So since I've told like everyone, most of the people at the CXO level positions in Singapore are from NUS or have like a contact with NUS like in the past during their education. So NUS has a very well established alumni, and you can reach out to them. Like since during this is I'm doing my job search, and they've been helpful actually to me in helping me referring me for some positions and all. So it's a good alumni base as well.
Being a prestigious B school, acceptance rates of NUS are known to be very low. Can you tell me about your application to this program, including your preparation strategies and resume building for the same?
When I applied to this program needed a compulsory TOEFL IELTS score, an optional GMAT or GRE score, and along with an SOP. And they also have interview round after the initial shortlist. So according to the Masters in Finance program director's numbers, the selection ratio for for my batch was around 8%. And coming to the strategies, preparation strategies, and the resume building, the resume is very important. Like, is one of the utmost important things, and you need to get it reviewed by multiple people, uh, whom you know before you start floating it in the public or when before you start applying for your master. And coming to the preparation strategies, like you just need to be thorough with your resume. You need to know each and every minute detail of your resume, and also like some sort of behavioral questions, right? Some sort of behavioral questions like uh, what you did in a particular scenario. So having a lot of ample experience will actually help because when you have experience, you get a lot of stories to tell them.
Yes, and I think that also applies to any sort of master's program you would want
Yeah,
to apply
exactly.
to. The kind of experience, relevant experience that you already have, and
Yeah,
portraying
before
that
so
in the right way. Yes. Hmm.
yeah, so before when you apply to when you have a particular programs interview, you just need to like read about the program and probably like read about some research, like try to find out what you want to do or what you want to gain from the program and talk about it more in the interview. so that they will understand that you're actually interested in this program.
Mm. I think also we need to show them how we are a good fit for that particular program, so that
Yeah,
shows well, right?
yeah.
So, Sai Teja, before applying for a master's in finance degree, what kind of work experience do you recommend one to have? Is there a niche of any
Uh,
sorts? Mm.
yeah, I think having a work experience will obviously help in the scenario because it's not a general area, or it's not a generalized area that you're going into. You're going into finance, so it's like a particular area itself. And so there are like generally two specializations in finance, majorly. So one is in the investments area, and the other is in the corporate finance area. And if you want to go into investments, like any past experience or internship in a investment management firm, or in a a quant, or in a quant role like a data analytics or statistics background, or econometrics, or even per se like machine learning will also help. And if you want to go on the corporate finance side, previous experience in um, investment bank or a private equity fund or a venture capital uh, would help. And I would also recommend like everyone who wants to finance to pick up a programming either in either Python or R, because like the industry is looking for people with hybrid skills. So there's this like new hype about the term called hybrid skills in the market these days. Hybrid skill is nothing but you need to have domain knowledge along with the technology, because technology is advancing so much these days. So you need to keep up with it. So a domain knowledge along with technology is required for you to end up in a better position after the course.
It's insightful knowing that not just to get in, but the kind of work experience you gain after the course also, it does matter, like it does carry after the master's program. The official website of NUS mentions that although a GMAT or a GRE is not mandatory, a good score will definitely strengthen your application. Which test do you recommend one to write and why? I know you wrote the GMAT, but if you would
Yeah.
want to give a recommendation, what would you suggest?
Uh, so it depends on what course you are applying for actually, and if you are or what schools. So basically, if you are applying for a B school, uh, not all the universities accept both GMAT and GRE. Like there are some universities which accept both, but and there are some B schools which accept only GMAT. So if your uh, preference is to get into a B school, then I would prefer a GMAT score. And also like GMAT stress, it stresses a bit more on math than GRE. So if you think you're weak at math, you should not be taking a finance course, because finance involves like a lot of probability and calculus.
Mm, right. So, Sai Teja, you are a full-time student researcher for a professor in US. Can you tell us more about that?
Uh, so one thing about this program is and you, they offer no scholarships, and you need to pay your entire fees if you get into this program. And one thing about Singapore is you cannot do normal part-time jobs like how you do get to do how
Mm,
you get to work in US. So if you want to do a part-time job in Singapore, you can only do it in the field which is related to what you're studying. So I had no other option. So since being new into finance, like I
mm,
mean, new into investments or corporate finance, so I could only reach out to my professors for any part-time work, and one of the professors selected me as one of his RAs, part-time RAs, and I was working part-time until until before the summer. During the summer, I'm working full time for him, and I assist him with his research, and it is generally related to economics, finance, and data analysis.
Hmm. Okay. What role does your degree play in your future endeavors? What kind of a career path are you looking to take after you graduate? That's in November.
Yeah. So I'm looking to go into a quant role in either investment management or the risk management. And earlier I was in the risk management when I was in Wells Fargo, and so I'm looking
Hmm.
to go into the investment management, which is more like how do you manage if you're given this amount of money, and how do you in what way, what is your strategy in investing this amount of money, and what is the preference of the investors, risk preference of the investors. Are they like willing to take more risk or willing to take less risk? So this comprises the investment management. And when you talk about the risk management, it comprises so put in your money in when you invest in your money in something, like there is a particular amount of risk involved. Like without risk, there is no reward. So how do you manage the risk? Is all about risk management is all about how you manage the risk in that. So I initially took up this course with the motivation of pursuing a career in the corporate finance, but
Hmm.
I understood that's not my piece of cake. So in a way, like this course actually helped me to narrow down further and understand where I'm interested in the finance industry, and also gave me an opportunity to learn more those courses at the advanced level.
Looks like you have planned the road ahead, and it does sound like a very interesting career option.
Yeah.
And with that, we come to an end of today's episode. You can visit mscfin.nus.edu.sg for more information on the NUS MSc in Finance. Thank you, Sai Teja, for your insights on the very interesting Master in Finance degree and for taking out the time to make this happen. By sharing your journey with our listeners, I'm sure you have enabled them to think about applying for this program with a better idea about the preparation involved for the same.
Thank you, Supita, for this opportunity. It's like giving back to my college. Like this is the first thing that I'm actually giving back to NITK. And if anyone is looking uh, for pursuing a higher degree in finance, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn for any questions or for any help. And good luck for everyone.
Thank you. I'm sure our listeners would do that. I'd also like to thank you, the listeners. I hope you took away something valuable from today's episode of the ABCs of applying to a B school. Until next time, stay home, stay safe, and stay strong. Bye.